a meat market, pagan temples, and dining with demons. This is not a modern diet. This is first century Corinth. I'm Paul Weaver, and this is Faith Affirming Findings.
Welcome to Faith Affirming Findings, a podcast dedicated to sharing with you
the incredible discoveries from the field of biblical archaeology.
These findings will strengthen your faith, affirm the historicity of Scripture, and provide you with unique insights into the culture and background of the Bible.
Now, here is your host, Associate Professor of Bible Exposition at Dallas Theological Seminary,
Dr. Paul Weaver.
In today's episode, we're taking you to ancient Corinth, a city filled with temples, shrines, and a marketplace that provides a striking backdrop to the Apostle Paul's writings in 1 Corinthians. Discoveries at Corinth include the Temple of Asclepius, the Temple of Demeter and Korē, and an inscription about a meat market, all of which shed light on Paul's teaching in 1 Corinthians. The Temple of Demeter and Korē was located at the base of the Acrocorinth. Excavations began in the 1960s, guided by ancient writings, revealing more than 40 dining rooms and artifacts linked to food and idol worship. Peter Gooch, in his book entitled Dangerous Food, says it this way: the consumption of food was an integral and important part of the cultus of Demeter and Korē. Food was sacred to the goddess, and these instances of eating were sacramental acts of thanksgiving and obedience to and commemoration of the two goddesses. The Temple of Asclepius, located near a fresh spring, including dining, bathing, and sleeping areas. Here, dining was associated more with health and wellness than idolatry. Yet, its proximity to the temple created ambiguity. Then there's the Macellum inscription, fragments of a first-century stone marking the construction of a meat market. This may very well be the market Paul referenced in 1 Corinthians 10:25. The archaeological record provides us with a greater appreciation for the circumstances and moral dilemmas facing the Corinthian believers regarding food eaten in temples, sold in the market, and offered in private homes. In the 21st century Western world, it is hard to relate to the complex situation that the first century Christians in Corinth faced. Archaeology and surviving writings of the first centuries help bridge that cultural gap. It enables us to ask the right questions of the text and find the right answers to those questions. These discoveries also affirm the historicity and reliability of Scripture in at least 4 ways. See my book, Faith Affirming Findings, for a 5th way. First, they validate that food offered to idols was a major issue in Corinth, just as Paul describes. Second, the market inscription confirms the term Macellum used by Paul, a Latin word that indicates a real location where believers and unbelievers bought their food. Third, ancient writings disprove the assumption by some skeptical scholars that all market meat was sacrificed to idols, supporting Paul's instruction to eat without raising questions for conscience' sake. Fourth and finally, dining occasions in private homes, at birthdays, funerals, friendship meals, were common, as Paul indicates. Paul instructed believers to abstain from eating the meat only if it was made clear that the food had been offered to an idol, and this would have been done for the sake of the conscience of the one who reported this fact. In summary, Paul's instructions regarding idol food in temples were: do not eat in the temple like Demeter and Korē. By doing so, you're partnering with demons. But in the instance of the Lerna complex, don't eat for the sake of the weaker conscience, even though it's not associated with worship of Asclepius. Second, as it relates to idol food in the market, eat without asking for conscience sake. And third, as it relates to idol food in homes, eat without asking for conscience sake, but if told, refrain from participating. If you found this episode helpful, be sure to like it, share it, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. And don't forget to acquire your own copy of my book, Faith Affirming Findings, published by Kriegel Publishing. In it, I discuss 50 of the most important archaeological discoveries that validate the historicity and reliability of Scripture. A purchase of this book also provides you with access to 50 PowerPoints that can be used in your teaching, preaching, and Bible studies. See you next time.
Faith Affirming Findings podcast is a listener-supported podcast devoted to affirming your faith in the reliability of Scripture and illuminating your understanding of Scripture.
If you would like to help sponsor the Faith Affirming Finding podcast,
You can make a tax-deductible donation of any amount, large or small,
at faithaffirmingfindings.com. That's faithaffirmingfindings.com and click on the Give tab.
We hope you'll join us again next week for another exciting Faith Affirming Findings.